Today's sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland and M&T Bank Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Darnold on first down. Steps away to his left. And this one complete to Smith. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
To throw again on second down. Darnold eluding the pressure right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. That's Anthony Barr coming in from his linebacker spot to bring him to the ground. But just 2 plays in, and Charles already their first sack defensively.
Yeah, how about that? That didn't take long, did it? And now they look at third down, and that's another time to try and go and get the quarterback too.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
First down and much more for Henry, and finally taken down at the 35-yard line. That one 28 yards on the ground.
I remember watching Derrick Henry come out of Alabama and sitting with some scouts, and one of the debate points with him was, while at Bama, how often did he have to deal with contact near the line of scrimmage? They were so good up front that he often got to the second level pretty easily. I think he's starting to answer those questions with runs like that. He's a physical guy.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. They'll try the right side with Henry. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. And we were down on the field watching Henry warm up before the game. He's a big man. No wonder he breaks those tackles.
And you remember what I told you when we were watching? It's not all pads. I mean, you get him out of pads and just see him in a regular suit or an outfit. He is a huge human being and a lot faster than what people know. When he gets rolling, he's a lot to bring down.
He'll have a first down inside the 10. And bulldozing his way through. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Koo able to connect on the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Bengals take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here, first and 10 at their own 24. go play action now. Burrow. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Well, good hands there defensively. That's second down. Now, you and I, partner, we got the plum assignment this week. An unbeaten team against a one-loss team. Really not much separating these two entering play here today.
Not much at all. And I think for both coaches, they've looked at their team and said, guys, you got to know what you're getting into in this one, and you better be ready to go because you get to answer the big question of the day. Are we as good as we think we are? We're about to find out.
Running is Swift. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. Now, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent last week in the win over the Chargers.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. They go play action with Burrow. Rolling to his right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Adam Troutman, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Back to the running game with Swift. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on 3rd down. Burrow will throw. He'll let it go deep for Foster. And this is taken in at the 5. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll run with Swift. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Now Burrow. Flush, and he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Burrow, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Bengals are an extra point away from tying up this football game. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Now returning it, Antonio Callaway. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room, an open week is always good, guys. Take it, and let's go with it.
His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. He'll air this one out for Kirk. And this is incomplete. Oh, he looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Darnold. Throw right side is going to be caught by Kirk. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground. Andy Isabella was the intended target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. You can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Darnold completes it. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. They snap it. They're going for it. Here's Darnold. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Bengals will get the football back. They'll start on the ground with Swift. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Play action. It's Burrow. Escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it go deep. Right sideline. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Cole Beasley, the intended target. But now it'll be 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Burrow. Flush to his right. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Burrow on his toes that time as they get the first down. But nowhere to throw it, decided to scramble, and a nice job, CD. Got the yardage that he needed.
Yeah, and his teammates are certainly going to appreciate that effort, even if his coaches don't, because they would have wanted him to slide and protect himself. But he chose team gain over personal protection.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Burrow eluding the pressure right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they had incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
On third down, Burrow. That's complete to Swift out of the backfield. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. DeAndre Swift, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals have taken the lead. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. Callaway, the return man. And a penalty marker's down on the field. And they might be backing up a bit here to start the drive. Well, that holding call set him up with not great field position.
Not at all when you tack on the penalty. But that field position after the return wasn't terrific. It's not a great starting field position as well.
Henry running right. And strong running there gets this up over the 15-yard line. 46 yards on the ground for him so far. 2nd down and 3. Darnold. It's caught. Smith. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. That one good for 13 and a Raven 1st down. Darnold now to throw. And he'll get this underneath to Henry. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. 2nd and 8. Now a give right side. It's Henry. And Henry's hit. He lost the football. And the Bengals grab it. Obviously, you got to hold on to the football, but I've got to give credit to the defense there. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
Now he lets it go deep for Kirk. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
So we have reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Bengals out in front. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Both teams going back through their game plans, making their final halftime adjustments. And for the call of the second half, we go back up to Baltimore and rejoin Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Bengals set to receive. They have the lead and the football to begin quarter number 3. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he's got a Bengals first down as the tackle made at the 35-yard line. 10 yards there on a Bengal first.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
And he's going to go out of bounds. Gigantic loss. Kept retreating, steps out. That goes down as a sack and a big loss of yardage. Throwing on second and long. Burrow being chased out left. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Robert Foster, the intended receiver, and now it's third down.
Scramble drill there, partner. Some teams have some pretty good rules for it. Others are just saying make sure you work your way back into the sight lines of your quarterback, even if you take the play deep. And that's what they attempted to do on that one, unable to connect.
Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Troy Apke, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. That is just what this defense was hoping for, an interception on the opening possession of this third quarter.
Obviously didn't want to surrender a touchdown and fall even farther behind, and we've gotten to know this team a little bit, haven't we? Couldn't you just see their defensive leaders telling the offensive guys, telling the quarterback, don't worry, we got you to start things off. You take it from there.
And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 57 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
And Derrick Henry with the ball in his hands, what a sight to behold, because power and speed involved in every touch for him. Coming off another spectacular season with the Titans, he became the first since LaDainian Tomlinson in 2006 and 2007 to win 2 straight rushing titles, and he did it with style too. Just the 8th man to top 2,000 yards and the first since Adrian Peterson in 2012. He has his sights set on another 2,000-yard season.
That good for 22 and a first down. Henry. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. One of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you could darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
On 2nd and goal, Darnold. And this one will wind up with him losing yardage back to the 4-yard line. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down. Boy, how good has this defense been seemingly all game long?
I really think right from the first snap, I think you're really onto something there. In this passing game, it just can't get off the ground. In that play, it wound up losing yardage.
This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Marcus Williams. And they get the football, but not much on the return here as he stopped at the 7-yard line. So this is something we didn't see at all from this offense in the victory last week. That's a turnover. They didn't have any, but giving the ball away here in the opening quarter.
I love the surprise in your voice because it's exactly what you stated. Didn't see it last week, but it's a key to their win. And it'll be a key to this game as well, protecting the football. Didn't get it done there.
Call it a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
Throw right side, caught by Ridley. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a first down there. Off the play fake, here's Burrow. He'll buy some time right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And they're going to have this in a great spot way down in Baltimore territory. Well, like so many wide receivers, he is a threat with the ball in his hands, and he's able to do his damage here after the catch.
Yeah, and this is absolutely a wide receiver's dream, because if they can make that first man miss, a lot of times they turn these into big plays, and that's exactly what happened here.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the catch on the next-gen stats. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. In on the stop, the safety, Troy Apke.
It's been a struggle this entire game trying to move the ball on the ground. But every now and then you find a little chink in the armor, and that type of run right there lets them know that they can't stop every single run for almost no gain.
And that's out to the flat for Swift. And it looks like he'll be just a yard shy of the 5 here as he's out at the 6. That leads us to a 1st and goal. It's a pickup of 8. Here's Swift. Stopped short. Down at the 1. Had the broken tackle, but couldn't get it all the way home. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. Now it's Burrow. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Troy Apke. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
After the interception, here's Darnold. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And they take over already 5 yards deep into the red zone at the 15-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. On 1st down, Swift. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 2nd and 7, Burrow. And that is caught. He's got it for a Bengal touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. We talk so often about how hard it is to win in the NFL when you turn the ball over, and here a late turnover leads to a 4th quarter touchdown and a 2-score lead.
And what's more important is being able to take advantage when a turnover presents itself. You've got to come up with points to make the other guy pay. They're able to do so here, and they've got a pretty good chance now of winning this football game.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, you get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
2nd down, they go again with Henry. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 85 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ball game. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he finds Seals Jones complete. And some room to maneuver. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. But forget the run on 3rd and 1. They shock the D and rip off a pretty big play.
With that down and distance, no real surprise they decided to throw the ball. But I think where the surprise kicked in, The result, short pass downfield. That ball got taken for a nice journey to turn into a big play.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. A toss right to Henry. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end, in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. They'll try to run for the first with Henry. Powers through. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Brandon, this can be so demoralizing for a defense. They've had 2 opportunities to get off the field. They haven't gotten it done. So now your coordinator, he's going to call every blitz that he has, any type of exotic.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Derrick Henry, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Ravens have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So how about that for an answer? They get the touchdown there, and it's back to a 1-score game here in the 4th.
And that's what these guys have done all game long, because they've scratched and slashed their way to stay in this game. And by now, we should all realize they're not going away. Now the pressure again swings to their defense, because they're going to need to find some way to get the ball back.
And this is going to be snuffed out. The Bengals recover. The 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8 at the 41-yard line.
They're passing here. Joe Burrow. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Kingsley Keke just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7. Defensive end gets in there that time. They were in a 4-3. What's the responsibility of the ends versus the tackles there, Charles?
Well, most of the time when you talk about the ends, they're your pass rushers. They're the guys that you turn loose to try and get to the guy who's going to throw the football. The tackles, usually more of the run-stuffing variety. But the way this game is advanced, you're wanting a little bit of everything out of all of your guys. But let's just go ahead and break it down and make it simple. The guy who's the right defensive end versus a right-handed quarterback, that's the blind side. He's going after the quarterback. He's going to put him on the ground.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. DeAndre Swift with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Bengals are closing in now on a 7th straight win to start the year. Extra point splits the uprights, and the lead now up to 14.
Bengals 28, Ravens 14.
The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they had the touchdown during the last drive, and I'm guessing that you like the balance they had on that last drive.
And I loved it. Forget liking it. absolutely love what they were doing, because to be ahead of a defense that much, where every play call you have, run or pass, is working pretty well for you.
Makes you look like a genius.
It really does. It also lets you know that your preparation was pretty good, and now the defense has to do all the adjusting.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Darnold to throw. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. He was looking for the running back, Derrick Henry, and it's third down.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that one or two guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with. They'd love to get their hands on those unnamed sources, wouldn't they? But they know that that's not possible, so I think they've got to go in there and make sure that this isn't a distraction. They also know that once the grumbling starts, it becomes a slippery slope, and it's hard to stop the fall. But I think you need to sit some guys down and say, hey, look, we're still hoping to be a playoff team this year. We need you guys to be bought in with what we're doing. Come on, let's get on board.
Now they go for it on fourth, but this one is going to wind up incomplete. They'll run on first down. Swift, and not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Now it's Burrow. And that is incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And just looking ahead, it would appear that that bye week is coming at the right time. They'll have 2 weeks to chew on this one, though probably not one that they want to chew on. A poor performance from start to finish.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2.
Henry again on 2nd down.
They find some open field here.
Able to get this all the way out close to midfield, just what the doctor ordered on play 1 of this drive in crunch time.
A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. Shedding through the defense, and they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. Henry will get it. He's been busy today. 1st down and much more for Henry. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. He's done his part sailing past the century mark on the ground with rushing yardage, but his team, a different story.
Yeah, they're down big in this ball game, so sometimes you wonder to yourself how much of that is him with a great performance and how much of that is the defense just loosening up because they have a big lead.
That catch good for only a couple. So this one in the win column now for the Cincinnati Bengals. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for the Bengals, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they dropped just their second game so far as they fall to 5-2. And they'll get an extra week to think about it as the midseason bye might be coming at just the right time.